live in stereo. Live in stereo.
Ladies and gentlemen, top of the morning to you. How you guys doing? Welcome back for another RawCast. Glad to see you guys. Hopefully you're having a fantastic Friday evening back stateside and whatever the time may be for the rest of you around the world. Thank you all for being here. This is the RawCast, gaming news and industry coverage with Raw Tactics, joined by True Blue. How you doing, my man?
I'm good, my man. I'm good. Good morning. Good. Where are we? I don't even know where we are. Is it good
All right.
morning? Is it good afternoon? Is it good evening? Wherever you may be. Hope you're all well.
Well, usually we start these off with like, what have you been playing? But I think that's kind of a redundant question at this point. I think we're all playing Stalker 2. Have you played anything else besides Stalker 2? I guess that's a better question.
What an insane question.
Right.
You
Absolutely
kidding?
mental.
Yeah. No, it's purely Stalker 2 for me. And I've been having a blast. I've been absolutely loving it. I'm kind of we will discuss it further, in terms of like give our sort of analysis, thoughts, or review, what could be done better, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I'll probably just kind of start on, yeah, we have been playing, well, I have been playing Stalker 2. I know you have, Raw, as well, obviously streaming it and stuff like that. But yeah, we've been totally playing Stalker 2, getting in amongst it, checking out the mechanics, the visuals, everything about it, the story, the side quests, everything. And yeah, me personally, I've been having an absolute blast with it. It's what I kind of expected in terms of a
Yeah.
Stalker game. And I'm probably talking for you as well, Rob. Well, obviously, I don't think you were as far back as playing the original Stalkers, but from information gathered, your research and stuff like that, it's kind of what you expected, right?
Oh yeah, I have like, I mean, it's rookie numbers, but I have like 10 hours in Pripyat. I've touched Gamma. I put like 3-4 hours in the gamma. I know that's not a baseline Stalker entry, but you know, it's like playing Fallout Frost and Fallout 4. You know, it's like a more hardcore. You still get a sense of what the game is, but it's more. It's just more hardcore. Um, I've touched Shadow of Chernobyl. I haven't put that much time into it. I definitely want to go back and give these all a shot. It's something I've been wanting to do for a while, but especially after playing Stalker 2, like I definitely want to see where these games came from. From the little bit that I've played, you can definitely still feel that old Stalker vibe. For those that are familiar with the series, I feel like you're gonna be right at home with this game if you've not played it already.
Yeah, it's basically, I mean, for me, obviously I played back in 2007. I played um, Shadow of Chernobyl, and it is essentially like not going to say remaster or but it's took everything that was great in those games and improved it and enhanced it really. I'm not going to say it's like a remaster or anything like that, because obviously there's so many things that are different in terms of like the thing that sticks out straight away is the graphics, the this kind of gen graphics. The gunplay is massively improved. I was going to say AI, but we'll probably talk about that a bit later.
Yeah, for
In terms
sure.
of positives and negatives, in terms of the AI and stuff like that. But yeah, from being an old school Stalker player and booting up Stalker 2 for the first time, I felt very at home. It was a sort of blast for the past, but a pleasant, regen sort of new experience, if that makes sense.
Right. Before we get too far into Stalker 2, I guess we can go ahead and get some of this other side news out the way. Uh, and no disrespect to the teams behind this that we're about to talk about. Thank you guys for posting up in the Discord. Actually, let me catch exactly who this was that threw that up in Discord. It was Patty. Patty, if you're in here right now, shout out to you. Thank you for letting us know. Fallout 4 Project Mojave has officially been canceled. This is some sad news, but honestly, it's to be expected. Um, let's see, who was it? Fried Turkey and HCG Grill, two of the heads behind the Capital Wasteland, or not the Capital Wasteland, excuse me, Project Mojave. They were consumed by Double 11. Like they were drawn up into Double 11, hired by Bethesda to work on Fallout 76. They sent them to the gold mines, basically, um, to the money printing machine. That happened
Yeah,
some months ago, year, whatever it's been. It's been a while since they've been taken on by Bethesda. Hopefully, the remaining team can transition over to Fallout 4 New Vegas. That project is a lot further along than Project Mojave ever was. It does suck to see this kind of go to waste. Hopefully, they can reuse some of the assets, some of the work that these guys have done can be used in Fallout 4 New Vegas, but it's just been officially announced, you know, like it sucks, but it's kind of, we knew this was coming. Those that have been keeping up with that kind of stuff.
yeah. I mean, I think it's becoming apparent that some of these projects they're very difficult to sort of maintain and keep going. And you sort of appreciate the struggles that they have in terms of, a lot of you have to remember these are, modding communities. They're not, full-time developers or whatever. But I think some developers have, kind of went to and fro and like added stuff or been quite inventive and being creative with it. But at the same time, you have to appreciate that these guys they've probably got other, like they've got jobs on, full-time jobs and all that sort of stuff. And it must be really, really hard for them to, um, you know, uh, well, basically just push out stuff on time, meet deadlines and all that sort of stuff. It must be quite stressful for them. So you can kind of, you get the vibes from, what was it? Was it Project Arroyo or whatever it was called? The Fallout One, that kind of got canned because of similar sort of things where
Right.
people, it was just unmanageable because of constraints from everyday life, I guess. But we can sort of see a pattern developing, and like you said, Raw, a lot of the key sort of figures in these projects are getting poached by, your big companies, i.e. Bethesda and things like that. So that definitely must throw a spanner in the works in terms of development and completion. So yeah, I can sympathise with them, and it's a shame. I just hope that maybe they can find some sort of replacements quickly, but that's a hard ask. A lot of these guys are
Yeah,
probably very experienced
for sure.
um, and very talented, and it's very difficult to find people of the same ilk to kind of step in. And these projects have been going on for a long time, so getting someone in, it's like I best probably compare it to a substitution in soccer where someone's trying to come onto the park where the game's been played at a ferocious pace, and you're trying to get up to speed with the game. You might be the fittest person ever, but the game can be chaotic, and you've come on and you're trying to adjust. There's a little analogy for you. That's how I kind of see it. But no, and on a serious kind of note, it's difficult. It's really difficult for these guys to do it. But I mean, hats off to the Fallout London team, because we know that a lot of guys from them were poached from Bethesda, but they still managed to, push out Fallout London, which is massively impressive. So yeah, kudos to the sort of determination and the efforts that went in. So yeah, I mean that's my kind of analysis of that. But yeah, it's sad to see the project kind of getting cancelled. But hopefully they can push on and find people or go on and be successful in other ways.
Yeah, for sure. Good to see you, Mr. Derek Dell. Thank you for stopping by, even if only for a moment. I do appreciate you stopping by, man. Always a pleasure. It's me, Games. Welcome back, my man. It's been a little bit. Glad to have you here with us right now. For those of you that are currently in chat, I know most of you have been watching me play. Does anyone in here have experience with Stalker 2? Is anyone else currently playing through the game? We touched on New Vegas just now. There was a little bit of news that we had to cover with that, but there's a lot to cover with Stalker 2. First of all, round of applause for them. 1 million copies sold in the first 48 hours. That is incredible. For
Yeah,
something that started off
incredible.
as like a... It's insane.
It's insane, man. It's insane.
For something that started off as like, I don't know, kind of a underground cult classic type game, the older Stalkers. Again, I didn't have a game in PC back in the day. Stalker wasn't really in my realm for a long, long time. But I love the post-apocalyptic setting, and I kind of grew into it, and I started learning more about it. I've seen the lore videos, I've watched other people play it, but um, yeah. Oh dear God, what was I just saying?
I'm gonna
Yeah, go ahead.
interject here. I've just seen Patty Dunderick just put a comment in the chat there. He's saying, question: is there any mods you'd wish to see from the Stalker 2 community?
Oh yes.
So right, so to answer that straight away, I don't know why, but my head went into co-op. Right, a co-op mod. I
Yes.
know that's asking a lot from
Yes.
the,
Yes.
the, the games just released and stuff like that, but how awesome would a co-op be? A co-op mod or some in some sort of capacity. That for me would be great. And to
This dude,
answer
get out of here, Pat. Oh my God, I'm sorry.
what you saying, sorry,
Patty's
what?
latest comment. Go ahead, Blue. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, and do you think the second part of this is like, and do you think Fallout 4 is going to get mod ports of Stalker 2 assets? Well, I know for a fact that there is mods already for Fallout 4, like stalker related mods, definitely
Yeah.
weapons mods, armor mods. There's already stuff out
Gas
there.
Mask of the
So
Commonwealth. So well done. We've been using that in the Fallout Frost playthrough.
yeah, so oh man, I foresee a lot of stuff getting ported from Stalker 2 into Fallout 4 as mods. I think so. You know what the modding community is like, the Fallout 4 modding community is anyway.
Yeah.
If people like a certain game, or or a certain franchise, a certain it could be a movie franchise, it could be a gaming franchise. It'll probably be in there somewhere. I think the first thing I did when I looked on mods for Fallout 4 was look for the pulse rifle from Aliens, and there it was straight
Yeah,
away. It's like
yeah.
yeah, someone's already like one step ahead of the game, and they've got it in there. But yeah, the answer to your first question, I would say co-op would be
Yes.
amazing. I know that's really, the game's just come out straight away, but having a co-op mod would be fantastic. But something else, mods, the obvious one is right, and like I don't want to sound negative here, but there's going to be performance mods, right? There's going to be some sort of CPU mod to, um, you know, deal with the CPU throttling that's happening. That'll probably be in there, I reckon, at some point, because it was the same with Starfield. Starfield had that same problem.
Right.
It's the CPU wasn't being utilized, and it was more GPU heavy, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And there was a mod that came out that sort of rectified that. But then obviously Bethesda came out about 6 months later or whatever it was to fix it. But yeah, that's probably my two big things. But if we're
Um,
going back.
Real
Sorry, go
quick,
ahead,
Luke,
Fro.
just real quick. Sentinel, good to see you in here today. Mr. Derek, bro, I'm sorry you gotta go, but again, we appreciate you being here. Thank you for your continued support, my man. I hope you have a fantastic day. Hopefully we'll see you again in a little bit. After this, I will be streaming Stalker 2 for a short period. Ladies and gentlemen, shout out to my wife. Today is our 2-year marriage anniversary. It's our official 2-year anniversary. Been together 6 years, married for 2 as of today. Shout out to her for putting up with my crap show for so long. Like, I love that woman, man. Uh,
I don't know if she does it, man. I tell you, if it's anything to go by,
bro,
your streams and stuff.
that's what I'm saying. I don't think I got it in me. I don't think I could do it.
Oh God.
No, you're good,
Yeah.
Fallout Helper. Great to see you in here, my man. We're really just getting started. We covered the New Vegas news that Patty threw up in the Discord. Just starting to talk a little, talk a little Stalker too. You're good.
See what I mean, man. I mean, hats off to your wife. I don't
Yeah,
know how she puts up with this, man. I tell you. I mean, yeah, kudos to your wife. She must be an absolute legend.
she too much autism for one person to handle. I don't know how she does it. I gotta get in here and
Well,
spread it with you guys. That way I can kind of settle down by the time she gets home.
this is like counselling for Raw. I tell you.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah. What are we talking about? Right before that, anyway. But yeah, congratulations on your anniversary. And long may it continue, man.
Oh man, thank you, bro. Thank you guys. Thought this was how the crap show. Yeah. Now we were just talking about Stalker 2, some of the multiplayer. You wanted to see that. I saw a Patty. Was that Patty? Yeah, Patty said that Shadow of Chernobyl actually had multiplayer.
I'm not even aware of that.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was that long time ago. Like I said, it was 2007. Multiplayer didn't even occur to me then. It was just for me a very solid single player experience in terms of apocalyptic survival game. That's all I thought about it. But I can't remember multiplayer being even mentioned during that time. But that's a long time ago. So I'm guessing Patty Dundit is talking correct, because but I can't remember that, to be honest with you.
Oh, whoops. Welcome in, Libra the Hermit. I didn't realize I was still muted, guys. My bad. He said all previous Stalker games are available on GOG 75% off discount for those who don't know. If you guys don't have the OG Stalkers and you're enjoying watching Stalker 2 in the world space, definitely give those a little look. Let's see. Got a bottom where Stalker mods bring Fallout Story. Yeah, for sure, Sentinel. There's definitely going to be a lot of modding overlap. The Stalker 2 dev team has come out and said that they know how big of a thing modding is with their games. It's just like Bethesda in a lot of aspects. Like, Bethesda knows how much modding means to the community, and they know that the modding community is what keeps these games alive for generations, honestly. Like, we're getting past the point of years, even getting past the point of decades in some of these games. It's turning into generational games. Like, love it or hate it, Skyrim is it's gonna just live on, man.
Can I interject as well? And
Yeah.
what you just said, you I agree with what you said there as well. But also Bethesda know that they can release stuff now that's janky as hell, and the modding community will fix it, which is a sad state, to be fair. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
It's like, yeah, I'll push this out. I know the audience will buy it regardless, and I think they've got the mindset of, yeah, somebody will fix it. You know, some modder will fix it anyway, and we'll be grand. But it's a bad business model, innit, to do that. I
Yeah,
mean,
for
I might
sure.
be being a bit harsh saying that, but I'm guessing that's what the story is. I guessing that's what the situation is there. Yeah, it'll be fixed. Some modder will fix it. You know, some talented guy will do it, and we'll still get the dosh. People will still be playing our game. That's all that matters. Harsh, but probably realistic, I think.
Yeah, probably a little too close to home. I'm honestly, bro, I'm being a little bit gracious with Stalker 2. Like, you know what? Before we even get to that, I'm being gracious with how judgmental I am and how critical I am on the release of Stalker 2, but there are some problems. Like it's very apparent there are some issues. It seems like it's kind of varying case by case, and the better your system is, obviously the better this game's gonna run because Unreal Engine 5 is pushing current hardware to its limit right now. Even high-end systems like 4090s are struggling in some aspects, you know, like if a 4090 and brand new i9 14900K or Ryzen 9 9900X or 7900X 3D, if those are having issues, everyone's gonna have issues. And
Yeah, I mean, are we gonna start? I mean, you've already started touching on it. I wasn't going to go into the what you've just talked about, the negatives and sort of stuff, but not the negatives, but the criticisms, or But are we going to start talking Stalker 2 and give our sort of analysis and thoughts on how we think the game is at the minute? Are we going to do that right now?
I mean, yeah, if you're ready to, unless you had something else you want to talk about, you can, whatever, bro.
No, 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 no. So right, I'll shall I talk about my thoughts on my experiences, and we'll kind of bounce off each other, I guess. Raw, what do you think?
Yeah, that's fine with me. Mr. Bud, good to see you this morning, my man. Always a pleasure to see you, Derek. I will check out that song later on. This is not a music podcast, but thank you very much. Put that up in Discord. That's the place to put stuff like that. There's actually a music sharing tab if you want to check that out on Discord. Uh, Co-op or team deathmatch. Team deathmatch in Stalker sounds crazy. Could you imagine with the modern gunplay? All right. Stalker 2. Initial first impressions.
Right. Okay. So right, this is from my personal point of view. Okay. So um, to put in context, I've played Stalker 2007, and I remember my memory is quite hazy, but I remember it, being quite impactful for me in terms of post-apocalyptic, because I played Fallout 1, Fallout 2, and stuff like that. So Stalker, seeing playing a game in 2007, and I think Fallout 3 was kind of around the same time as well. If I'm right or wrong, I can't remember.
It was
But
oh 08,
anyway,
but yeah.
yeah. But Stalker was before Fallout 3, and having that experience of a a first person perspective game, POV. Oh, here we go. Right, but
Oh
yeah,
God.
don't. We're not going there, right?
All
I'll,
right.
I'll rant later. But yeah, the having that ability to play a game first person was mind blowing for me, and having like amazing AI, the survival aspect, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I loved it. I loved the first Stalker experience, and then it's taken all the way through to 2024 to get the second official game. You know what I mean, Stalker 2 or whatever you want to call
Right.
it. But initially, I can say that I've been really enjoying the game. I mean, it's everything I wanted from Stalker 1, let's call it Stalker 1, to Stalker 2. It's like vast improvements, vast updates. Like obviously graphically updated, just how it plays out. I'm going to touch on the AI later because there's a bit of an issue with AI in
Right.
terms of not the performance of the AI, but features that have been currently disabled. I'll go into that later. I'll probably discuss that with Raw a bit later. But it's everything that I wanted. Graphically, the gunplay, the story, the voice, the characters and the voice acting, all that sort of stuff. You can expect that.
Right.
And I've been having a blast. I mean, the map is huge, and that's what I want. And I don't get, sometimes people complain about areas being too big. Nah, I can't get enough of that. If I see an area
Yeah.
that's huge, the replayability, the the chance to find stuff on a second playthrough that you haven't seen before, all that sort of stuff. I love that. That's like top tier for me. So yeah, I've been really enjoying it. I've been really enjoying the sort of new weapons, the crafting, the attachments, the
Yeah.
scope, putting scopes on and stuff like that. The ability to like
The
little
hot
things that weren't in
swapping.
Stalker 1.
The hot
Sorry,
swapping
say
is
again.
so nice. Like the
Yeah,
ability to change attachments on the fly just from your backpack, not even having to like visit a workbench. I love that.
yeah, and also little mechanics like the lean mechanics, the vault mechanics, even though they're not that great, they're still there. It's but we'll touch on little things that we are our gripes about the game. But overall, right, I would say my experience has been extremely positive. I've really enjoyed it. And if someone was to ask me what my review score would be right now in terms of where it's at, it would be between 7.5 and 8, right? And I'll explain that, right? So, well, I've explained all the good points, but there's little bits that have kind of, I'm not going to say ruined the experience or ruined my immersion, but there's things that I'm like, it's kind of, I wish that was fixed. And I know it will be. These devs clearly are, from the experience that they're going through in terms of like, they're actually developing a game in a conflict, etc.,
I'm gonna
etc.
preach
Hats
it
off
till
to
the
them.
day I die. Watch the documentary. If you've not watched it, War Games, the making of Stalker
Yeah,
2. Proceed.
yeah. Watch that.
For
It'll
sure.
explain everything. It'll explain it more far. It'll give you an insight and give you far more context that I'm trying to preach. But um, let's go into the things that have kind of irked me about the game. Right. So performance. Right. Performance. It doesn't bother me. Performance. Right. But I know it bothers other people, the new generation of people, right? So I played games where I didn't I didn't even know about FPS at the time. Do you know what I mean? FPS was like I would play a game and if something slowed up, I'd be like, oh, whatever, it's slowed up. I when I discovered the FPS, I was like, oh, right, that's what FPS is, and then once I found out about it, then it became a problem. If that makes sense, I was like, if someone hadn't revealed that to me, then it wouldn't be an issue. However, right,
Ignorance
let's
is
be serious with
bliss.
stock. Yeah, but Stalker, I'm playing on a 3090 Ti with an i9, 64 gigabyte of RAM, sorry, and my performance is okay in certain areas. I'm getting 60 FPS playing 2160 4K, like 4K, and it's okay. But when I get to settlements, it seems like the CPU is taking a tanking, or it's not. Sorry, it's not taking a tank. It's not being utilized. So like whenever there's like heavy NPC, a heavy NPC population, that's when it starts to really drag down. But that doesn't really bother me. I know it bothers a lot of people, but it didn't really bother me. However, that's something that will be addressed and fixed, hopefully, right? And
Right.
good terms. But the main one for me that grinds my gears a little bit is the spawning of enemies. The spawning of enemies, because
Yeah.
apparently, right? Raw, help me out here. What was the AI thing that was implemented? You know when it comes down to different factions being able to do, or like different stalkers just doing their own thing, NPC wise, and traveling the map and doing their thing. There's a specific name for it. I can't remember what it is, but you kind of get the gist what I'm talking about.
Oh
But
yeah.
apparently
I got
that's
it
to
pulled
say,
up on screen right now. It's called A Life 2.0.
yeah. So apparently what I've read is that is disabled because it's broken, right? It's not working correctly, and they actually changed the text on their Steam page to say it's just AI. Some advanced AI thing they're using now. Can't remember the name of it. But anyway, my experience was like I went into a military base and I was being like stealthy outside of it. I was using silence weapons and I took out multiple like enemies that were tough. Headshots, being sneaky, all that sort of stuff. Definitely not a raw play. You know what I mean? Like not him playing manhunt. He's smashing
Yeah.
stuff up and
Yeah.
bashing open doors and all that sort of. Definitely not him, right? But I was going in sneaky and I managed to take out what I thought was everybody in the base. So I got in the base and it was clear, and then I literally like spun round to my right and saw like 3 or 4 enemies literally just appear out of nowhere, not round a corner or anything, just spawn like from zero to there, and then they just started just, like annihilating me with automatic rifle fire, and like they killed me, and I was just like, really, is that that's just poor. hopefully, well, I know they will. They'll fix that. But that was one of the main gripes for me. It was just like the spawning of AI was just like right. It's insane. Right, I'm going to say it. It was insane. It was insane. It was mental. Graphics issues as well. Little things like certain areas would look absolutely gorgeous, like the storm effects and stuff like that, or certain
Yes.
areas
Oh
where
my
you go
God.
in and you'd see the sort of lens flare coming in and the sun and all that. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Other parts of it just looked like a PS1 game. No, I'm probably exaggerating, but they looked poor, right? They
Right.
looked poor. They had like flickering and like some of the windows were like all over the shop.
Yeah.
That sort of irked me. And the last thing that really annoyed me was getting stuck everywhere. I got stuck constantly. I'm one of those people. We spoke about this off stream, Rob. I'm one of those people
Right.
that go into a game, and if I see a nook and cranny, I'm in there. I'm
Yes.
thinking the developers have hidden something in there, so I'm going in there. I'm crouching. I'm going in there to try and find whatever's in there. Right.
Right.
The amount of times I've got into a space and then couldn't get back out and had to reload my save, it was unbelievable, insane, mental. Right. Crazy. And then the gunfights as well, which are great. I like the gunplay and stuff like that, but the amount of times where I've been trying to back up or be agile, like to get to a certain position, and I've looked behind me and there's like a stone or a brick that's completely make me froze or like unable to move, not completely immobile. That's annoyed me. I've not been able to just kind of vault like no like a Call of Duty or stuff, not a vault over it, but you kind of just walk over it with a sort of how can I describe it? You know what I'm saying though? It's like you just get stuck instead of just naturally walking over it and it being detected. So those are the main things that kind of avert me about the game. If those are all fixed, for me, that review score of 7.5 to 8 will go up to a 9. Easy, I
Yeah.
think, because everything else in that game is top drawer. You can see that the game is it's a brilliant game, but it just needs that little, tweak and spanner. Just like give it a little fucking. Sorry, I've just sworn. That's the first time.
Ah, that's all good.
Well, yeah. No, I said it. I said it quietly. I don't think I'll pick up. But
If you
you know what I'm
whisper it,
saying
it
though.
doesn't count. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't count, right? My accent will disguise it. It's fine. It's fine. But yeah, just getting that screwdriver in, getting a few tweaks, and I think it'll be a 9 out of 10 game, possibly more. If especially when they implement the AI, the Raw, remind me, I've forgotten it. I've forgotten it already. You just brought it up on screen, but you know what I
Oh,
mean, the
A
advanced AI
Life.
thing
A
where
Life
yeah,
2.0.
A Life 2. But those are my thoughts on Stalker 2 itself. Great game, but it just needs those little tweaks, twiddles and tweaks, and I think it'll be a fantastic game. And I still think that you should buy it. I don't care about jank. I know a lot of people are probably a bit, I can't play this game because it's immersion, destroying or whatever. But if you can get away from the jank, get away from a few stutters with FPS and a few like spawning issues here and there, I think the game is still great. So there you go. That's my thoughts. Chat, hit me up if anyone's played it already. If there's anything you sort of disagree with or you want to come back, I would love to have a bit of a debate and see what you all think. But Raw, over to you, mate. I want to know your thoughts.
So I'm absolutely loving the combat. Obviously, the gunplay in this feels so weighty. The guns feel so real. Shotgun, bro, a shotgun up close and personal in this game hits like a
Yeah,
truck. Like,
yeah,
my God. Uh, the weapon drop off, the different caliber weapons actually feeling and handling differently. You can feel when you're using a suppressed like little 9mm pistol versus when you're actually like sniping somebody or using a rifle. They just feel completely different to even hold. The way your guy moves around with them. Combat is so much fun. The gunplay is phenomenal. The effects of like the smoking barrels and stuff. I love that. The small attention to detail that usually gets overlooked in games. Love that kind of stuff. Uh, some of the downside, like you were touching on, the spawn system, I got it pulled up on screen right now when we were actually taking on this military compound. There was multiple points in this where the guy, it's just an infinite spawn loop, and this, I got a few things to touch with this specifically, but the AI the A-Life 2.0, with that being currently disabled, as a temporary quote-unquote fix, they decided to enable infinite spawning enemies, and that's in multiple locations. We have seen it on stream. There's been areas where it's like just some random tiny shack and I'll face like 20 guys that just keep spawning and keep spawning and keep spawning. Or like this military compound where we completely cleared out an entire section of this. We step out the door, turn back around, and then it's like 15 more people just spawned in. Or I don't know if I can find the exact moment on stream, but there was a point in time where we looked around a corner and it was 6 guys piled up in a corner facing a fence, and the AI was trying to figure out where to go. You could see him trying to look left and right and figure out where I was, and I lobbed a grenade at him. It took out most of them. One of them finally figured it out. He started walking away and shooting me. The other one that survived the grenade was still standing there trying to figure out how to get around the fence. Like, when the AI works though, it is so good. The strategies that these AIs implement, like flanking maneuvers and actually using cover and somebody using suppressing fire on you. They'll do shout outs to where one guy is trying to pin you down with suppressing fire so his teammate can get into cover somewhere else and get a better position on you. The One of my other major complaints though is grenade usage. That has got to be bugged.
Can I
Grenade
just
usage. Yeah,
can I
go ahead.
just interject? Excuse me, sorry. I just interject. Talking grenades, Patty just commented on something. So he just said things I wish Stalker 2 had. Scale walls,
Right.
absolutely. That's
Yeah.
big right for me. But going on to what you were just saying about grenades, right? I spent about what 10 minutes trying to find the hotkey for a grenade, like a
Yeah.
la Battlefield. You just want a button to press. I tried to
Yes.
configure a mouse because,
Yes.
just to fling a grenade, and it wasn't there. I couldn't do it, and I was like, "Am I being dumb? I can't find it." But yeah, that's definitely something you need to implement into that game because, a la Battlefield, Call of Duty, I always like a mouse button to fling a grenade because it would make it so much better. Sorry to interject, Rob, but I just thought it's a pertinent point because you were just talking about grenade throwing and stuff like that. But that is definitely a big shout out to Patty there. Yeah, he's absolutely correct. But the scale walls, absolutely. Going prone, 100%. I
Yeah.
would love to do that.
Yes. I don't know why that
I'd
is
love
not
to
a
do that.
thing, man. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
yeah. Sorry, I'll let you go on, but I just thought that'd be a pertinent point, especially with the grenades.
No, you're good, man. You're good. That very relevant. I completely overlooked Patty. Going prone, definitely grenade hotkey. I would like to see a knife hotkey as well. Like,
Yeah,
just quick pull out your knife. I know that they have it set to the numbers, and you can scroll through your selected weapons and stuff with the scroll wheel. But I keep, bro, it's probably just me. Slayer said he was doing it yesterday on stream too. I keep scrolling the wrong direction, and it seems like
yeah. I've
everything
done that so
doesn't
many
sort
times.
through the way that you think it was. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know if I'm even making sense with that, but when you scroll through and you think it should be weapon one, weapon two, secondary, grenade, and knife, but it feels like some of that sometimes gets out of order.
I've been so used to so this is again going back to my Battlefield days. I've been so used to using my number keys, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5
Right.
up. Even when we were playing 2042 earlier, that's what I use to switch weapons. I don't use my mouse wheel. Um,
Gotcha.
I've always been using that, so that's all right. But going back to what you said, I have done when I have used the scroll wheel. It is so confusing trying to find the weapons
Yeah.
that you want to bring up. Like you want a quick, you might switch to your sidearm, your pistol quickly, but you end up switching to like your shotgun or you know what I mean,
Right.
a weapon that you don't want to use, and it is confusing. 100% agree with that, Raw. Definitely.
So yeah, grenade hotkeys, a knife hotkey would be ideal. What is it? There's been a couple times where we have seen bodies kind of disappear. There was a point yesterday. I had a crazy like 2 grenade combo. There was a group of guys up on top of a roof, lobbed a grenade from like back behind a wall, hit them perfectly. Some guys rushed out of the door on the side, ran down the staircase, lobbed a grenade, and it killed like 2 of them right there at the corner. And it was like 10, 15 minutes later, I made it back up there and their bodies were already gone, but other bodies around them were still there. I'm not sure what was going on with that. There's been a few instances where I felt like bodies kind of disappeared a lot sooner than they should have. Um, that's been kind of rare. As far as like game breaking S glitches, we haven't run into anything major. I think the worst glitch we've actually seen so far was yesterday on stream, there was a guy stuck completely inside of a wall. Like, I thought that he was just glitching through the wall, shooting me through the wall from inside the building, but no, he was actually inside of the wall.
Well, I told you about my dancing rat
Yeah,
experience.
yeah, you got to tell
Yeah,
them
so I
about
was
that one.
yeah, so I was in the I think it was the military complex, and you go down. I don't want to spoil anything. You know, there's no spoilers in this,
We're
but you
actually
go for
pretty far. Oh wait, no, never mind. Yeah, I got you. I got you.
yeah. So you go downstairs and into the sort of military complex, and you know, there's a sort of rats, loads of rats that come at you, and I took them all out, apart from one which glitched through a wall, and I was like, what's going on here? And then I looked through the sort of caged window, and the rat had glitched through the wall onto a table, and it was stuck on the table, and it was literally dancing in front of me. I'm so gutted that I didn't have Shadow Play or Instant Replay running at the time. I would have clipped it and sent it straight to the Discord. But yeah, basically there was a rat that was stuck, and it was just dancing on the table, which was hilarious. But at the same time, I was like, yeah, this needs to be fixed
Right.
ASAP. Yeah, but yeah, the dancing rat, it was insane.
It was insane. Insane. Bro, they made me eat beans on toast yesterday too. You left right before we ate that.
Yeah, was it beans on toast though? Was it beans on toast,
Yeah,
or
it
was it
was
some?
it was something.
Was it
It was something.
was it a can of Heinz? Was it,
No,
or
no,
was
it
it what?
wasn't can of Heinz.
Well,
I don't even remember
it's
what
not
the
beans on toast though, man. It's not. That's not beans on toast then.
but it was
Did you
in
did you?
tomato sauce. Like it was beans in tomato sauce. It was super sweet. I I poured it out and
Did,
it looked like goop scoop. Like it it
yeah,
was slimy.
did you butter did you butter the toast
Oh,
before you
of
put the beans
course.
on it?
I'm not a
Oh,
savage. Come on, man.
well, yeah, I've seen you playing Manhunt.
Yeah, that's debatable.
Yeah, no, I seen it, but I've not watched it all because I thought, is this guy going to do it right or what?
No, Sentinel,
I'll
that's
need to watch it later.
not the hallucination section. We realized those were hallucinations. That's not what I was talking about. It was a little bit before that, I believe. Um, the hallucination, that's actually part of Stalker. The whole psyche thing, that's one thing that your armor can actually protect you against too. We actually experienced that for the first time yesterday, completely off the bug and glitches thing. Have you experienced any of the psyche effects in this game yet? Like the
Uh,
psychological effects, your guy like kind of hallucinating and stuff.
only uh probably only the poppy field, but that's not
Ah,
really
yeah, yeah,
that was just like that was just tiredness and stuff, lack of stamina, all that
right,
sort of stuff. But no, I don't think I have to be honest with you.
got you. Yeah, no, I won't spoil anything then, but Bud's saying you can go on top of roofs. You can get on roofs, but okay, this is
Oh man,
another great
you can
point
get
that we
you
were
can
talking
oh
about.
man, you can get on roofs. The delays a killer.
Yeah,
But the roof thing, man. The amount of times where I have spent about, I would say about 15 minutes max trying to find a stash that was clearly above me. You know, the when you see it on the sort of mini map and you've got the arrow pointing up to say, yeah, it's above you, and you're like, right, how did I get up there? Now, this is probably kind of contradictory to the last podcast because, you know, when I said I don't like indicators or like saying you need to jump here, you know, it's
right,
clearly marked out in some red paint or something stupid. But
right,
this is next level. It's like, how did I get up here? And it's the most unobvious way of getting up. I'm looking at, like, there was this one instance where a stash was on a roof and you had planks going up there, but you tried to walk up the plank and you could only get up like midway, and then you'd just fall back down. I was like, right, what the hell? What's going on here?
right.
But then I eventually went, right, I'll try this, and I jumped onto this, bit of wood that was, it was so unobvious to
Right.
do it. But I jumped on this bit of wood, then jumped on this like pole that was on, like just sticking out the ground onto that. Then I managed to get on the roof, and I was just
Yeah.
thinking, that's just pure.
It's
I don't know.
gamer
That's just.
instinct, bro. A lot of the stuff in this really just relies on gamer instinct. We've got very
Aye.
similar situation on stream yesterday. I believe it was yesterday. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but the I explained it to you, Blue. The rooftop, there was a little hidden stash up there with the excavator, the arm extended, it was going through the roof. Obviously, you need to get on the excavator to get on the roof. There's a ladder on the excavator, but you can't climb it. You can't jump on the excavator. There's a shipping container next to the excavator. So, okay, maybe we get on the shipping container, then get on the excavator, then get on the roof. Can't get on the shipping container. So we end up like there's a little
You
shed
can
near the
vault on some
house.
stuff.
Yeah,
You can vault
some
up
stuff.
some stuff, but you can't
And it's
on
so
the other stuff.
jank.
Yeah.
Like the implementation of it. Sometimes you can pull yourself up to onto a ledge, sometimes you can't. Sometimes you can leap a fence, sometimes you can't. Sometimes you can mantle a waist-high wall, sometimes you can't. Like we ended up having to find a wooden picket fence, and we had to get on one specific fence post at just the right angle to then jump on top of this little shed, to then jump on top of the roof. And you could tell like clearly that's not how they meant for you to get up there. But it just
Yeah.
gamer instinct, like trial and error, kind of knowing how games work and figuring it out. I'm
Yeah.
starting
It
to
was
feel
like
like maybe some of this was intentional though. Like maybe they did want you to rely on gamer instinct, because what was our number one thing we were telling people before this game came out? It does not hold hands, right?
yeah, it does not hold hands.
Like
Definitely not,
maybe
man.
they're just really leaning into that and this was a creative way for them to do it, or maybe it's a little bit more jank.
Yeah, I
Like,
think it's a bit of both, to be honest.
yeah.
It's like, but the jank, uh, trying to trying to find that sort of sweet spot in a on a fence post is so it's a bit ridiculous, isn't it? It's just you want to not have a clear indicator, but well, I'll tell you what, like young gamers these days will have a nightmare with this game, won't they? They
Mm-hmm.
won't have a clue.
Mm-hmm.
They won't have a clue how to deal with this.
No, for real. Like the way that gaming has become extremely handholdy.
Yeah,
The one thing, and I think they're doing it to be ironic, the yellow painted ladders. The
yeah,
ladders, I mean, they're not like bright, vibrant yellow. Like they're not God of War white chalk all over the side of a mountain, or like The Last of Us where it's just huge bright yellow paint, but it's rusted, it's faded, but the ladders are still yellow. I think they're doing that intentionally. Like I'm pretty sure that was a like ironic design decision, kind of. What's that called, bro? Yeah, whatever. It's irony. There we go. We'll just stick with that.
yeah. I'll go with that.
Um, as far as being handholdy, yeah, like Sony, like we just covered in the other RawCast, with Sony wanting to implement the way to make games easier and more quote unquote accessible for the general modern audience. Like, is it games like this are gonna stand out amongst like quote unquote hardcore gamers? You know what I'm saying? Like the people that have been around and really seen gaming evolve over time, instead
Yeah,
of the iPad
I
kids are
think.
gonna have a hard time.
Oh yeah, they're gonna have a nightmare. They're gonna have a nightmare. They'll be calling it insane
Yeah.
constantly. But there was one other thing that the only mission breaking bug that I've had, and I think it right. I'm 90% positive it's a mission breaking bug. But we talked about it off screen. It was the stash mission where you had to find you I can't remember it, but it's like it is part of the either the main quest or a side quest. But basically, I went in and they said, "Oh, you need to find these stashes, journalist stashes apparently." And I the first thing they tell you to do is go to your stash and then pick up a USB. This isn't a very spoiler, by the way. It's just one of the missions. It's not very
It's a
interesting,
side
but
mission early on. Yeah, it's nothing
yeah.
really
So
spectacular.
you pick up the USB and it tells you that, and then it gives you like like a journal update to say you need to find these two stashes, one in a swamp, and I can't remember where the other one is. But I think I'd already picked up these stashes prior to doing this mission. So when I've activated the side quest and took the USB and then looked into my map, it doesn't display where they are, and I'm just like, hang on a minute, because normally when you select them, the stashes are highlighted in white, whereas I've not got anything. So I'm assuming that's a bug because it doesn't indicate to me where they are at all. So it might have been because I've already picked them up, and because I actually went round and did like little stash. Um, Took my time to find all the stashes in the hope of finding weapons or different attachments.
Right, right.
But yeah, that's something that came about, and yeah, I hope that's sort of addressed because there's nothing worse than like absolutely busting your gut going through a side quest and a lot of travel. There's no fast travel in this and stuff like that. So obviously you're having to travel from place to place. Yeah, I hope
Oh,
that's that can be fixed.
fast travel. There is still the old mechanic. I just found the guide yesterday. Somewhat spoilers, but I mean, no, it's not a spoiler. It's not a spoiler. There is a very specific person you can talk to at a very specific location who can guide you. Isn't that what they're called? The guides in Stalker
Oh, right, right.
that can
So I
take you
met
to
that guy.
major settlements? Yeah.
Okay, right. So I stand corrected. I met that guy, the guide as well. Um, that was in like he's like with the military when I found him, right? The military post. Uh,
I
but I was
maybe.
unaware that that was a thing that you could take him to that he could take you to settlements and stuff like that, which is great, which is good actually.
From
I
what
didn't I
I
didn't realize that.
from what I understand, the way it works as of right now, I actually found this off stream yesterday. I was trying to do some inventory management, and anyway, I didn't do anything off stream besides inventory management. Don't worry, we're gonna pick up right where we left off. But the the only option I had, the settlement that I was at, and when I talked to him, the only other place I could go was the first major settlement. So it seems like instead of in the old Stalker games where they could just kind of take you all over the map if you had the money for it, you have to first visit the major settlement and then they can take you between the ones you've already visited. That's the way I
Right.
believe it's implemented. And honestly, I kind of prefer that. Like, just like fast travel works in Fallout, you have to first visit one of the locations, explore it yourself before you can then fast travel to it. I like that implementation a lot more than like Skyrim Cart, to where you go up to a guy in the carriage and then he just take you wherever across the map immediately from the start of the game. I like this implementation. It encourages exploration. And in my opinion, exploration in this game is awesome. There are stints, and we talked about this on stream yesterday. There's stints where it is a bit of open nothingness in some areas. I
I the amount of times, right, and this is kind of muscle memory. It's like when I've been traveling around, I reach for my console key and I'm ready to type in TMM1.
yes, yeah.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
There's been a
It's
couple
muscle
times
memory.
where I just wanted to turn off collision just for a second.
Yeah,
Like, yeah,
yeah. When I got
yeah.
stuck, I've literally pressed the console key and went, oh no, it's not Fallout.
Check out Patty's latest comment.
I'm looking now. So, question for Blue: seeing the old map areas of the first three games and how different they are, do you think it's good or bad that factions in some of the locations in the old games aren't there anymore? Again, right. I'm going to try. I'm trying to remember where the actual factions were and stuff like that. He's added on to such as the bandits who were in the Dark Valley factory not being there.
That's the yeah, I believe that's the one we went to yesterday, where Patty had
Yeah.
pointed that out to us. Yeah.
So like there was little bits from Shadow of Chernobyl. There was little bits where I could reckon it because it's the same zone, same areas and stuff like that. And I vaguely remember like some of the paths, especially the military base. I'm pretty sure the military, like coming out the first settlement and then taking a right, that first military base, that's similar to Shadow of Chernobyl. I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on that though. But yeah, looking at the question again. So seeing the old map areas of the first three games, how different they are. Do you think it's good or bad that the factions in some of the locations in the older games aren't there anymore? I don't know, man. I don't think it's that much of an issue. I think it's to me, I think it might be decent that they're maybe freshening it up, or I don't know. That might be something to do with the disabling of the AI system at the minute. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The fact they've disabled that because I think they wanted some of the factions to be traveling the map, different stalkers traveling the map to try and overthrow different settlements and stuff like that. So I think that might be an issue. I might be jumping the gun with that, but I reckon that might be an issue with that. I might be, excuse me, that may be a fact in the matter.
I could see
But
this game within the next month or two once they get this AI situation completely sorted out. I could see the game evolving into something that feels entirely different from the way it feels now. I feel like it's going to be rewarding to go back and explore locations a second time just because different factions being there, seeing how the game has evolved and like it's going to feel like a new experience. if you guys remember Dying Light 2, the way that was being told it is like certain groups being able to take over certain locations and then there'd be fights for power and stuff like that. It never really turned out to be quite what they were promising, but I think this AI implementation that they're working on and trying to work out these kinks, I think if they can nail this, it's going to be exactly what Dying Light 2 was promising. Like these groups are going to fight for power and like hold different settlements, and it would be sick if like one of the major settlements was actually under attack at some point. You had to do some type of like settlement defense thing just because of the way settlements work in this, like Fallout 4, I'm not really trying to compare it to that because it's two completely different settlement type systems. You get what I'm saying? But what do you think about that, Blue? Like when these AIs get
I
developed and like an
yeah,
army versus a bandit like fortress, that would be crazy.
I'm all for that. I love that sort of stuff. So if we're talking Fallout, right? I am a massive, massive fan. I'm talking from Fallout 1, 2, 3, Vegas, and Fallout 4. I love random encounters. That
Yes, yes,
so sometimes I would just boot up the game. Let's just say I'm going to use Fallout 4 for an example, right? I would just boot up the game, even Skyrim back in the day, right? I would put the game and have no no sort of side mission on the go, no main quest. I would just wander. I would just walk around and just see what I could find. Uh, and I love the sort of random encounters and what Stalker is trying to do, or hopefully gonna do with this new like AI implementation. I think is I mean, it's right up my street. I would love that. You know, you're walking around and then something would happen, but uh, what you were saying, Raw, in terms of like settlements being attacked and different factions losing people and all that sort of. I'm well for that. I am right up that. That's right up my alley when it comes to, an I know Stalker 2 isn't like technically an RPG. It's more a survival game, but you
right.
get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah,
It's I, I like the randomness of it. I don't like stuff that's too much on rails. I mean, I know like some certain areas in Fallout 4 you come across the same thing, but it might be slightly different. Like in terms of who's there, it could be like a scavenger, it could be raiders, it could be you know what I mean.
yeah,
But I like
yeah.
the fact that they're trying to implement something very very different in terms of the stalkers or the factions go about their daily business on the map. One like they could like get up and become a group or a squad and then go out to a certain area to look for loot or whatever. Do you know what I mean? That really appeals to me. And you can bump into them and then you could interrupt them, and that might cause some sort of chain reaction in terms of not the story, but the reputation that you might gain.
Right.
At some point. But yeah, uh, see, going back to the spawns, right? See what I was talking about. That's the best way to sum the spawns up, right?
What's
Do you
that?
remember my recommendation of a mod on Fallout 4? It was what was the mod called? Enhanced Warfare, where you could tinker with the spawns.
Oh, yeah. How they just kind
Yeah,
of pop in out and yeah.
yeah. So if you like, just for context, so if people that haven't done that, so there's a
Yeah.
mod on Fallout 4 called Advanced Warfare where you can tinker with spawns. So you could like, for instance, if you wanted more raiders on the map, and the number of raiders that spawned,
Endless
y-
warfare. That's what it is.
endless war. That's the one. Sorry,
Yeah.
yeah, endless warfare. So if you wanted to um implement more raiders in there, or more gunners, more super mutants, or there was like presets that implemented a super mutant invasion or an enclave, sorry, versus Brotherhood of Steel fight. It would do that, but that's the best way to see if you went like OTT, like completely over the top with your spawns. That's what Stalker feels like at the minute. It's like these guys just spawn out of nowhere, and that's probably the best way I can describe it. Right, Raw, you can relate to that, can't
Yeah,
you?
for sure. That's what I was talking about earlier. We've seen it firsthand too.
Yeah, I mean, um, but that sort of thing is like imagine if they implemented that modern stalker. I would love to see that if it was done correctly. I would
Yeah,
love to
for
see that
sure.
being able to like do that, like doing if you wanted to do a sort of zombie um mod, like you could do a zombie mod with that endless warfare mod where you could spawn just zombies. And that would give you a zombie experience, settlements holding off against zombies and stuff like that. But you get the gist. It gives you a bit of creative freedom.
Yeah,
to do stuff.
touching on the
And
modding stuff too, like Sentinel was kind of touching on. Later down the road, like I know we're kind of jumping and going. We haven't even finished the first playthrough yet, and we're already talking about mods. But it's got me hyped up, man. Like I could see this game living on for a long, long time and like truly holding its own.
yeah,
But like Sentinel was touching on, I think Patty brought it up earlier, asking about mods. Some type of settlement style system would be cool. I don't think that they could fully implement a Fallout 4 style like Minecraft type system where you go in and like fully build everything on your own. I think it would be more implemented like Kingdom Come Deliverance's DLC where you're rebuilding Privis Slavitz. I think it would be more implemented like that could be possible, where it's kind of like a brief cutscene and then you got some more fortifications built up and you just select what you want to build. I still think that would be cool to see eventually. I'd like to see some like legit settlement system, even if it's
yeah.
only
I
in a
mean,
few select locations. Like that would be pretty cool to see.
yeah. I wouldn't. I don't think that would go down too well with the Stalker community. If I'm being honest with you, Raw. I think what you're saying is, I get it. Little bits here and there, maybe
Right,
upgrading
right,
like watchtowers and stuff like that.
right.
But the whole, see, if we're going like let's just take it to an extreme here for an example, right? If it went sim settlements kind of thing, like Fallout 4,
Yeah.
I don't think
No.
that would be a big hit. I
No.
mean, it's completely up to you. It's a mod at the end of the day, so it's up to you to implement it.
Right.
And if you don't like it, you can take it out. However, that for me is not a Stalker game.
No, I
And
understand.
I mean that. Like I know where you're coming from. I know what
Yeah.
you're saying. It would be nice to have, some sort of, if you were in a settlement that was getting attacked or whatever, and you could, I don't know, preempt that attack by building defenses, then yeah, that's cool. But
Right.
the whole, the simulation part of it, I
No,
don't,
no.
I don't think it would be
I
too,
definitely should have
too.
elaborated, but yeah, like you
No, I
said,
get what
taking it
I,
to an
I get
extreme,
what you
but
mean.
yeah, yeah,
I get what you mean. No, I understand what you mean, and I'm not poo-pooing your idea. Are you a fart noise for that? I've just used poo-poo. But
yeah,
yeah,
poo poo. Got
but
you.
no, I understand, but I think that would be taking a lot away from the Stalker experience.
Taking over points for factions would make more sense for Stalker than being able to build houses in it. Yeah, yeah, I get you, Patty. 100%.
Yeah, that like the house building and stuff like that, upgrading your nah, no, 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 that's not Stalker. I mean, you live in a, you've been dealt with living in a crap hole basically, and yeah, you're not upgrading that. You're living and surviving. It's a crap hole.
Hey,
The zone is a crap hole.
here, one sec. I gotta step away 2 seconds, bro.
Yeah, no dramas, man. Right, chat. Any other questions that in regards to Stalker or anything in general? To be honest, just fire them up in the chat, and I'll try and answer them as best we can because we love the input, Paddy. Sorry, Patty. Sorry, I've loved your questions so far in terms of like the different factions and stuff like that, locations, like, and comparing it to old games. That's the kind of stuff we like. But yeah, I want to reiterate that I've been really enjoying the game, and I don't want to sound nitpicky or anything like that. But there's stuff that I think they can do better, or no, sorry, not do better, but fix, and that will come with time. You have to understand as well, though, that the developers and stuff like that, that the circumstances that they've been going through in terms of the Ukraine-Russia conflict and things like that. It's
Watch the
must be
documentary. Just watch
massive,
it.
heavy. Sorry, what are you talking about, Raw?
Watch the
Getting whispered at you.
documentary. Just watch it.
You sounded really creepy there, man. I was worried. Are you all right?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
The guy's gone insane. The guy's gone insane. Nah,
It's happening. It's
no.
happening. The autism's taking over.
Whilst actually touching on what I've just said there, the Russia Ukraine conflict, I just want to share something as well that I noticed on the actual not the official Stalker page, but it was on the X, and I'll just read it. So someone posted, if you read about Stalker 2 today, please think of this hero. And his name's Vladimir Yezov, and he was one of the Stalker developers who was killed in action by Russian forces in the Battle of Bakhmut in 2022. So just think of that. I mean, one of the developers is like, serving his country, defending the invasion, has passed away. And I just wanted to say rest in peace to Vladimir Yezov. Can we get some respects in the chat for that, please? Because, it kind of puts into perspective what these guys have gone through. Like Ross said, watch the documentary and it'll put a lot of context into what these guys have been going through. So yeah, much respect to Vladimir Yezov, absolute legend who's passed away defending his country in 2022.
Rest in peace. Have just a brief moment of silence for everyone over in Ukraine right now. May they rest easy. Bro, is there anything else that you're wanting to cover? We've been going a little over an hour, and I'm kind of pressed on time today. If there's anything else that you really do want to discuss right now, though, feel free.
I can't really. I mean, this podcast was going to be primarily focused on Stalker, as you would imagine, in terms of our reactions to playing and our gripes and the positive stuff. So, yeah, I think we've pretty much covered our thoughts on Stalker 2. Unless you've got anything else, I think we gave it a kind of comprehensive rundown, and we've had some good interactions with chat as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Patty's saying the ladder's got him. Blue, run before they get you. Oh,
Oh
is that
my
that
God.
clip?
Yeah,
Is that
the
that
clip
clip?
that yeah.
Oh yeah, no, the ladders haven't got me. I'm not as daft as Raw.
They
Believe.
added like
I'm
10
not.
deaths to my freaking total tally.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I seen that clip and I was like, I didn't get the context. I was like, he's found a ladder. What the hell's going on? But you explained to me that you
Yeah.
died about 10 times.
Yes.
trying to get up or get up to a certain location.
The
right?
dang Geralt of Rivia ankles got me, man. I fell like 3 feet and died.
Like the Call of Duty splat pancake as well.
Oh yeah. And Sentinel, I don't think that was so much of a glitch. I think it's just the way the game works. They gotta be able to attack you. The dogs are still jumping when they attack most of the time as well. I don't really think that was a glitch. I think it's just kind of restrictions of how the game actually works. They're not gonna put their front paws up on the table and then reach up and bite you necessarily. I mean, they could potentially mod that in. It would be nice to see that level of detail, but just game design.
Can I just do one last bit? I
Yeah.
know we've not done a what do you call it?
Oh, a
A
rage
rant
quit.
section.
Yeah.
Yeah, rage quit. No, right. So
Real quick rage
this,
quit, and then we can get out of here.
no, yeah, I'm gonna do one, but it's quite a serious one, right? So it's annoyed me. It really has annoyed me. And it's talking about, it's basically what I just touched on as well. The constraints of the Stalker 2 development team. Obviously, the conflict and stuff like that. That's restricting these guys, and you can't imagine what these guys are having to go through and stuff like that. And I got really annoyed earlier reading some of the comments on some social media posts where people were just saying, it was along the lines of like quote unquote, don't release it then, and you should be doing better and stuff like that. It's like the entitlement of some of these people, like the non-realization of what these guys have gone through, and there's some anus, right? I'm going to use anus, just typing away, going, "Oh, you should be doing better." It's probably some kid that lives in his basement, just sitting there going, "Oh, you should be doing better," with no actual realization of these guys are getting. 1 minute they're developing a video game, and next minute they've got a rifle in hand and loading bullets. You know what I mean?
Like they said, the day starts off with raid sirens inside their office, and they open up the window and it's just raid sirens blaring.
And I'm trying really hard not to swear here because I could go on a massive tyrant here, but F those people, man. I mean, have you actually sat down and just took 1 second to realize what you're saying? Oh, they shouldn't have released it then. Oh, they should have took more time. It's like, oh well, you never. I mean, it grinds my gears massively, and F those people because they've obviously they live in a goldfish bowl, right? They need to touch grass, I reckon. They've never been outside their basement. They don't know what they're talking about. They don't see the struggles of day-to-day life for these people. Do you know what I mean? It's not like they're just getting up out their bed, going into a development studio and doing stuff. They're having to deal with like you know,
Family potentially
uh,
missing,
fam
friends and like
yeah,
out of
they're
contact. There was one guy in the documentary said he didn't talk to his mother or father for like several weeks or several months during the whole raid, and he thought for sure during that time that they were gone. Like, you know what
yeah,
I'm saying? He was still going into work, working on this game with that on his mind, and he was talking about how he could barely focus, but he was trying to push through. Like, we're lucky to even see this game today. The fact
yeah,
that they were able
absolutely.
to put it out in its current state, like granted, I know it sucks, current state in the industry, everything keeps coming out in a utter mess, but we have seen worse releases than this from people that just wake up and do nothing but work on the game and have nothing else to
Yeah,
really worry about, at least not on that level, you know, like we've seen worse from people that are in better predicaments.
yeah. I mean, I think it's just about a realization. People need to just realize, or they just got no they're they're narrow-minded and just
Naive.
haven't
Like
got
a lot of
yeah,
people, they're
naive is probably a
clueless.
better word. Yeah, they're naive and just not got a grasp on everyday excuse me, everyday working life, especially with people that are, 1 minute are going from, like I said, developing a video game and they're being pulled from pillar to post, and then next minute they could potentially be on the front line, or they are assisting in, the conflict in many different ways. So what I will say is, I mean, this isn't like a funny rant. This is just more of a serious one. So I was going to say, F those guys, and yeah, another one. Just give a massive W in the chat for these dedicated devs. Um,
They deserve
I'll
it.
be back. I will be doing a rant in the next RawCast. I've got it planned. A much more light-hearted one, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
if anybody's got any questions or or if anybody wants to ask my opinions on things, that'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Because you will definitely get you won't get a diluted you know opinion. You'll get straight, no BS, and I think a lot of people will appreciate it. But yeah, sorry.
There
I'll get back to Raw.
No,
Go
you're
on.
good. There is a RawCast tab in the Discord. Just making sure everyone is aware of that. If there's anything you guys want us to cover, specific opinions on specific topics that you would like to have broadcast to where we can interact and engage with those, have more engagement with that. Always remember that thing is there. You're welcome to put whatever in there. I can't promise you we will cover everything, but we will do our darndest. Oh, you already
Yeah.
cursed. No, I'm not gonna do it. No.
Game over, man. Game over.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
dropped an F-bomb earlier in the
It
cast
doesn't
somewhere.
get much worse than that. I mean, it could have been never.
It could have been
Anyway,
a C-bomb. It could have
that's
been a
exactly where
C-bomb.
I was going with it.
And a C-bomb, I use the C-bomb more than the
Just
F-bomb, to be honest,
don't
because
do it
it's
here,
ins
please.
No,
Please.
I won't. I won't. What? See you next Tuesday. But
Right. All right.
right. But no. That's just to put it in context. The C bomb is used as a term of endearment in Scotland.
Yep. Man, like
Someone
we were
someone could
talking
be
about. Yeah.
yeah. Someone could be a good C, or someone could be a bad C. I'm just chucking that out there. But yeah, there you go.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think this is going to conclude today's broadcast. Thank you guys so very much. Mr. Bud in the building. Sentinel, Patty Dunn did it. Who else we got in here? I know I've seen several names. Fallout Helper joined us up for a little bit. Mr. Hermit, hopefully you're still with us. It's Me Games, Mr. Derek Dell. Thank you guys so very much. Thank you for everyone that was lurking in the shadows, everyone that dropped a like. I will do one self plug before we get out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of the RawCast. If you enjoy what you watch, please consider hitting that like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already, share the stream, get us some additional exposure. We're trying to get to 1.5k by the end of March, and we can't do it without you. If you have not watched it, go watch War Games, the making of Stalker 2. I highly recommend it to everyone, even if you're not that into Stalker, just to get more of an idea of what's really happening in this world around you. Don't be clueless, don't be naive. I love you guys. Stay active, stay healthy, stay hydrated. We'll be back momentarily with some Stalker 2 gameplay.
Hang on. I'm not going to be sorry to do this,
No,
but
you're good, you're good.
no, Patty's got one quick question. Do you think Stalker 2's gameplay is going to change how devs develop theirs?
I hope so. I would love to see smarter AI in the next Fallout, if that's one of the things you're talking about.
There you go. There's your answer. Okay, cool. Like nice one, Raw. And from me, thanks for everybody tuning in. Thanks for all your interaction in the chat and stuff like that. Like Raw said, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Any suggestions you have in the RawCast, drop it in the Discord. Thanks very much for listening, and peace.
Love you guys. We out.
Live in stereo.